Ladies and gentlemen, our journey starts right here with Star Wars Episode 1, Phantom Menace. Here we go. So before we start, I want to re-clarify that this is basically my introduction to this series as a whole. I saw all the Disney Star Wars movies, like the ones with John Boyega and Daisy Ridley. I saw Rogue One, and I watched a little bit of Andor, but everything before I haven't seen. So this is going to just be my initial thoughts, my initial reactions, and my most honest opinion going towards these shows or in movies because I haven't seen them before. So yeah, with that being said, let me tell you guys how impressed I was with the Phantom Menace. And I should also say that I'm not going into this completely blind. Like, I know that little Anakin Skywalker is gonna turn over to the dark side and become Darth Vader. I knew that Obi-Wan Kenobi was in this movie. I know a lot of the names. I know a lot of the different courses for the people in this movie, like what's gonna happen to them, who they're gonna become. I know most of that, but the reason that I'm going back and watching all these, is because I don't know like their history. I know their futures, but I don't know their history. And so I'm trying my best to like hinder all the thought around like what I know and kind of trying to just like process all the information, because that's really the reason that I'm trying to get into this series, because I don't know anything about it other than like names and like associations with people. That's it. I don't really know that much else about this stuff other than just the people. And honestly, I recognize the majority of these people too. Like all the actors in it. Like, well, not all the actors, but most of the actors, all the main characters, I know all of them from other things. And, you know, I was honestly thinking about just, like, naming all of them, like, other movie roles just to spite the masses. But I don't know if anybody knows it, so maybe not. But you know what? I'm going to try it. I'm going to try and tell you who all these other people are. Okay, I'm not going to do it just to spite the masses. I'm just going to do it to show off my nerdiness. Because who do we have in this movie? We have a lot of big people in this movie. We have, who do we have? We have Lumiere from Beauty and the Beast, the live-action one. We have Ra's al Ghul from Batman Begins. Elizabeth Bennet from Pride and Prejudice shows up a lot in this movie. We have, who else do we have? We have Lady Thor, Jane Foster from all of the Thor movies in Marvel. And we also have Jamie from Jingle All the Way. He's still super young in this movie. They must have picked him up straight after this, or given him the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie because of this movie. I don't know. I forget the dates, but it's the same kid, if you didn't know that. I also forgot to mention that we also have Nick Fury from the Marvel movies, from all the Avengers movies, who just makes this casting choices even more perfect. And really, I really like the casting choices that they made for this movie, because everybody had a really good contribution to the movie. Everybody had a great contribution to the story. And the only problem that I really had with it was with Natalie Portman's character, Padme. And the only problem I had with her was just kind of the flatness of her voice sometimes. Like, when she was saying serious stuff, it was all just flat. Like, it was monotone. And really, that was my only problem with the acting in the movie, is just the flatness of her voice sometimes. It wasn't always that bad. It was pretty good. And as far as dialogue, my favorite line of the movie came from Liam Neeson. His line where he says, "Be mindful of the future without the expense of the moment." That was my favorite. That was my favorite line of the movie. And honestly, I think everybody did a great job, really. But that's as far as the casting choices and all the acting in the movie. As far as the plot goes, the plot was okay. Although some of the elements were kind of obvious, like you could tell that Jane Foster was not the queen at some points, and you can tell that Elizabeth Bennet was just her decoy. But everything else was really good. It was really straightforward. Everything was paced perfectly, and there really wasn't any problems with the plot as far as believability. I mean, other than eyesight, obviously. But my biggest issue, my only issue with this movie, or my only real issue, is with the VFX department. Now it's 1999, and we're making movies like The Matrix, we're making movies like Bicentennial Man, we're making movies like Galaxy Quest, and not those movies aren't nearly as visual effects heavy as this Star Wars movie is. But that isn't to say the visual effects in this movie couldn't have been a lot better, because they definitely could have. Um, like the organic characters, they were okay, and the little soldiers or whatever the heck they were, those definitely could have been improved on a lot better. But biggest issue was when you have a visual effects character that's a main character, and he's not really that believable, and that character is Jar Jar Binks, if you haven't seen the movie. And other than his ridiculous personality and his horrible speech patterns, his like visual makeup isn't like, it's, you can tell it's VFX, which is going to happen in a visual effects heavy movie. You're going to see a lot of different things for what they are, and you're going to also see the quality for what it is. And unfortunately, he and many other different elements in the movie did not have the best quality. I will say, however, my favorite part of this movie, which was the pod races, was also very visual effects heavy, but did not cease to impress me. I loved that part. That was my favorite bit of the whole movie. It was darn near perfect, like many other things were in this movie, but it was definitely the coolest part to me. Now, with all that being said, this movie is not the movie that ignited the Star Wars fan flame. This wasn't the craze movie. This isn't the movie that made everybody fall in love with the series. This is a good movie, but it's definitely not the best in the series. And I hope I don't get set on fire because of saying that, because I don't know what movie it is that everybody else likes, but I don't think it's this. That isn't to say it's not likable, but I don't think this is the movie, you know? But all that being said, I'd say I give this movie about an 8.5 out of 10. It's a good start, and I think based on everybody else's initial reactions to me proposing this idea to them, everybody says that the original Star Wars movies were the best. And we're getting to those. We're going to get to those eventually. So if I'm right, these movies are only going to start to get better, and this was definitely an impressive start for me. I am definitely excited to see the next one, and I hope you guys are going to be here to see it too, because I'm hoping that this video gets out. I know that this was supposed to be, I know that last week was supposed to be anime week, but that one kind of got complicated, and so I'm really hoping that this video comes out, because if it doesn't, I'm probably going to have to resort to doing one takes again, and that's not going to be great for me. But with all that being said, everybody, I really hope you enjoyed this video. This one was really exciting. It was really fun to make. And let's see, next week is going to be Superhero Week. And that, you know what? I'm going to put two possibilities out there. I'm supposed to be starting the X-Men movies, which all of them I've seen. And I'm not going to be watching the New Mutants because it's horrible. And I'm not going to be watching the Deadpool movies because they're rated R. And I'm also thinking that I can either start the X-Men movies again, or I can start the DCEU again, and you guys can see what I think of DC movies, because I'm a massive Marvel fan, and I definitely like DC and a lot of the stuff that they come out with. Like Smallville is one of my favorite shows. It's one where Clark Kent is growing up in his town of Smallville, Kansas, and it's a really cool show if you haven't seen it, by the way. It's amazing. But I can either go down the X-Men route, or I can go down the DCEU route, which I think would start with Man of Steel, but I'm not entirely sure yet. But that I'm going to leave up to you guys. If I can figure out how to make polls on YouTube, I know that YouTube is letting people do that now. Sorry, that was my cat. I know that YouTube's letting people do polls now. So if I can figure out how to do that, maybe I can shoot out a X-Men or DCEU poll, because I don't know what I'm going to do. But both of them sound really cool, so I'm going to leave that up to you guys and see what you guys want to do with that, because next week is Superhero Week, I think. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me on this. If you guys like this video, please make sure to give me a like, and if you have any suggestions, leave them down in the comment section. Thank you for making it to the end of this video, by the way. This was another 10-minute video of me making myself laugh at stupid stuff again. So, if you want to see me laugh at more stupid stuff, I do really appreciate any subscriptions from anybody. And if you guys like this stuff, show it to your friends and share it. That's ultimately what's going to help this channel grow. And until I see you guys in the next video, live long and prosper. Oh, that's so wrong. May the force be with you. Goodbye. I need to sleep.